Did you expect anything less than that as my intro music? I am Ryan. I am your commissioner. I want to welcome everybody back for the fourth year of our league. Pretty excited about it. We are going to start off with what the purpose of this video is. Hopefully everybody will kind of get a chuckle out of this and basically just make it something more that you're more excited about the league. If it ends up being something that's pretty boring, then we can go ahead and trash it, but I figured what the heck, we go ahead and try it. Also, everybody, so you know, if you want to do one of these on a week so I don't have to do one, that would be great. Let me know and tell me the week you want to do it, especially if you know you're going to play somebody you really want to beat. Cough, cough, Jet, and Keith. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Everybody got an email yesterday about Ogletree Gate, as Keith called it, and I hope everything makes sense there. If you have any questions, please email me. If there's any issues, we can talk about that and get that straightened out. Few quick facts. I'm going to hopefully come up with a couple that are interesting every week. A couple interesting facts. This last week, we had a couple really high, couple high scores, a couple low scores, and the worst score in the history of the league happened in 2010. Beams Machine, aka LA Rams of this year, 34.86 points. Pretty sure Matt Ryan eclipsed that almost this week. Thanks a lot, Chad. Second, the most points ever in week one was Max Wage with 148 points. That happened last year. Pretty crazy. Nobody eclipsed that this year. Not last year, 2009, myself, the only person ever to start the year off 0-2 and make the playoffs. I ended up getting third. Nobody has ever made the playoffs starting 0-3. So keep that in mind as you get ready to play this next week. Now I'm going to go into a little tidbit on each game, just a little something to chew on, and then we'll call it quits. So this past week, first game that ended was myself against Chad. Go Panthers, spelled backwards. As I said earlier, Matt Ryan basically won the game for him. I was thankful he didn't play Adrian Peterson. Unfortunately for me, Fred Jackson got knocked out of the game, and so did Pierre Garçon, which ended up destroying my chances of winning. LA Rams against Sack of Hammers, felt bad for Jeff Harper. Jeff Beams ended up winning it, taking it home, has an extremely strong team. 5 out of his 9 guys scored over 15 points, which is pretty crazy. Sack of Hammers would have won against anybody but LA Rams and Turd Birds. Next game, Chuck Person versus Max Wage. Max Wage getting the loss, the big loss there. He did, however, pick up Ogletree. Had he played Ogletree and been able to do that through however he managed to pick him up during the game, he would have actually won that game if he wouldn't have played Welker, which Welker's obviously not that good. He scored 1 point. So Chuck Person got the win behind Julio Jones, 2 touchdowns. Next, Turd Birds versus Fear Boner. Fear Boner. Terrible running backs. Stephen Ridley would have been a huge help to your team. You still would have lost, but let's be honest here. Not liking that trade at all. The only trade thus far to be made is looking pretty bad for you, FB, 6 to midnight. Turd Birds, very good, strong opening week. Foster and Lance Moore. Surprise, surprise, Lance Moore is looking very strong. I think Turd Birds has a great shot to make the playoffs for the first time. Next game, Get Lucky and Lake Placid. Get Lucky got the win here, beat Lake Placid by about 7 points, our closest game of the week. Rice and McFadden, it basically came down to those two guys. McFadden scored 11, Rice 21, and Placid lost by little over 7 points, little under 7 points, sorry. So that's too bad. Neither deserved to lose. Tough game. But obviously, you gotta figure out a way to make that happen as a coach. I mean, that's your responsibility to make your players play better. I think that was it. That was all the games for the week. What was that? Was there another one? Oh, I guess there was another one. That's right. When I saw this, I was embarrassed to be your commissioner. I thought about actually just quitting fantasy football altogether when I saw the score from Club Ibiza at 74.88 and Halfway Crooks at 54.62. Two former champions that obviously didn't see really any need to show up for week one. Fortunately for Greg and Club Ibiza, you're able to come out of that closet with a big dub. And Jet was caught in his Habib, big old Phoenix sandstorm he saw. Like I said, pretty embarrassing. But nonetheless, Club Ibiza gets a win. Halfway Crooks, I'm looking forward to playing you next week. I really need a win, and I feel like you're probably my best bet. So that worked out well for me. And then last but not least, just want to throw this out there. I have some predictions. I will say this. I think our league is way more competitive this season than it has been in any of the prior 3 seasons. We'll see if that plays out. I'm not sure. I don't feel like there's an extremely dominant team this year. I feel like there's probably 8 teams that have a great shot at making the playoffs. I do have a prediction. These are the 4 teams I see making the playoffs. I'm not going to seed them in any order, but these are the teams that I'll go out on a limb and say make the playoffs. And I do feel like this is kind of going out on a limb. LA Rams had the most points this week, but I just feel like his team is extremely strong. Sack of Hammers, pulling for you, never made the playoffs. In fact, the last 3 guys I got here, Sack of Hammers, Turd Birds, and Go Panthers backwards. I'm going to be cheering for you guys. Obviously, I want to make the playoffs, but none of you guys have made the playoffs yet, and I hope it happens. I think at this point we've had 8 out of the 12 guys have made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. That's just off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, that's the first week. Let me know if you want to do one of these. I would love for to not have to do one every week. Hope everybody's doing well, and we will wish you guys good luck this next week. And hopefully Ogletree breaks a leg. Have a good one.